वाङ्मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्मयेधि वेदस्य मआणीस्थ श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासि अनेनाधीतेनाहोरात्रान् सन्दधामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारमवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः Om. May my speech be firmly established in my mind. May the mind too be firmly established in my speech. May there be perfect correspondence between my thoughts, words, and actions. May the self-effulgent Lord be revealed in my consciousness. May the truths of the scriptures come to me, and may not what I learn from them ever forsake me. Let me live my life day and night according to their teachings. I shall speak what is appropriate. I shall speak the truth. May that protect me. May that protect the teacher. Om, peace, peace, peace. Let us feel our true divine identity by pushing aside, forgetting completely our changing temporary identities like body, mind. Let us tell ourselves, I am not the body. I am not the mind. I am the self-effulgent, infinite, ever blissful, ever perfect consciousness itself. Let us feel our ego is merged in that supreme, all-pervading, one without second, conscious existence. is no time or space. There is no coming or going. All is the infinite, unspeakable bliss. And perfect eternal peace. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Hello. So, dear friends, let us begin the discussion of this biography of Sri Ramakrishna and his divine play. Let us do the opening chant. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kavibhiriditam kalmashapaham shravanamangalam shrimadattatam bhuvi grinanti te bhurida janaha. This opening chant now it is better. Good. Yes. Like our life, goes many times in the reverse direction, like this microphone was put in the wrong direction. So it is, instead of going to the true source of happiness, we run towards the reflections of happiness and thus do not get it. So, okay, so this opening hymn describes that how the gopis, they are feeling, gopis, the playmates of Krishna, and what are they thinking about Lord Krishna? That these stories of your life, they remove all the this torturous, scorching experience of life, and it is like nectar, and therefore those who distribute this nectar of your stories are the greatest givers to mankind, because when you listen to these stories, what happens is the ignorance in us goes away, and thus we find the mine of bliss in our true nature itself. All the running and expectations and disappointments and frustrations, they go away. It is no wonder, that it is in the world, in our pursuit, we get frustrated. What else do we expect? That it is not a wonder at all if we get frustrated. If you run for water towards a mirage, then what can you expect but frustration? It is, if you don't get frustrated, then that is wonder. It is thus, it is not at all wonderful or not at all astonishing that people are frustrated in the world. Because we run in the wrong directions for satisfaction. But when we go in the right direction, then there is no frustration. Get it, Naomi? That if we go in the wrong direction, frustration. To go for happiness in the world to something, no joy there. No, our expectations themselves basically can never be met. So this is to be remembered, that God is the only reality, only source of happiness. And as we remember this, see, our life will become, even by thinking about it, even by progressing in that direction in our journey, the life starts becoming more and more blissful. It is obvious, like if there is, say, a very fragrant flower, and we are getting the fragrance. As we move closer to the flower, the fragrance will be experienced more. If we go towards the reflection of the flower, what will happen? The reflection is in the opposite direction. This is common physics. So, when we go in the direction of the reflection of that flower to get the fragrance, we will be moving away further and further from the fragrance. So, this is how the stories of the life of Sri Ramakrishna bring us this sense of what is real, what is the source of bliss in life. And thus, knowing that removes all our these difficulties in life, all our torments and these torturous experiences of life, and they bid a final goodbye. We don't keep on worrying about what will happen if the coronavirus becomes more intense, or what shall I be doing when it is all gone. For 1 year somehow all my plans were dashed. Now I am looking forward to get all those plans executed. So it is all these things, they do not bother us. We do the right things but without any expectations, without any undue excitement. No need to get excited about these things because you know that they are unreal. It is only in the play. So when we become aware of this, the life becomes peaceful, full of bliss. You do not curse people. You do not get upset and angry with them because you know that it is only my ignorance that is making me see such things. So we were reading this chapter on Sri Ramakrishna's pilgrimage with the attitude of teacher. Sri Ramakrishna is teacher. That is the very purpose of his assuming human body. God assumed human body to spread this wisdom by which all our torments will say goodbye. So his teachership was manifesting in various ways, and now we are seeing what happens when he goes to pilgrimage. A different experience, meeting different set of people and so forth. So we are reading that account. So we saw that when a person can derive benefit from going to pilgrimage, what the person should think about at the pilgrimage place, and how after getting that experience while at the pilgrimage place, one should go on chewing the cud of that experience afterwards as and when possible. So it is all these things are told about pilgrimage, and many more things are going to be told. But one important thing that comes here, that Sri Ramakrishna's pure mind could easily feel, believe and accept these things, whereas the people, ordinary people, they have crooked mind, and so the belief does not come easily. Our intelligence, we are intelligent people, isn't it, Juhi? We are very brilliant, intelligent people. And so what we do is make our intelligence work against us. It keeps on raising doubts in very simple things that easily understandable. Who brings out the doubt? One Swami who used to teach me. So he used to say that, look, all these doubts, who is raising these doubts? Don't see just the logic but the psychology of it. That because I do not want to follow that path, there is an inner resistance against it. And that resistance is bringing this doubt. He used to call it as attack of Maya. These doubts are like attack of Maya. There is the inner resistance created by the nations or ignorance, and that is bringing these doubts. And we think that, well, we should question, we should get a clear idea and then follow. Very good advice. Excellent thing. We should that verify, we should, but the mind does not let you accept, even though there is enough rational evidence to accept it, and there is no evidence for not accepting it. And there is always, the world is having all uncertainties. So what is more profitable for us, at least the chances of what is more profitable are on one side, then you should follow that side. That is called, in philosophy about God, one philosophy about the existence of God or proof of existence of God is told as the Kalam argument. Means, okay, this universe is or this universe is not. What is the better option? You have nothing in the middle. You go, that universe is or universe is not. Obviously you will say if universe is not, then I am not, and it is difficult to live with that. So I take the option that universe is. Then the next question asks, is this universe created or uncreated? You have a choice, either it is created or it is uncreated. Choose what is the most plausible. You have to choose after all. It is, you cannot just say, no, I don't want to make a choice at all. Then you are making right there a wrong choice of not choosing. Not choosing is always a wrong choice. That it is like standing in the middle of the road and then thinking, should I go to left or should I go to right? And I am not able to decide, so I will stop in the middle of the traffic. No, that will make this, hundreds of people will be honking behind you, and that will not be acceptable. So not making a choice is not acceptable. So of these two, what choice are you going to make? Whether the universe is created or is not created. Because whatever we see in this world, we see that it is created. It wasn't there some time back, and then it emerged. So this universe also must be created rather than uncreated. It could be uncreated, but when there is more possibility that it is created, so I accept that. Then if it is created, there is a creator to it, isn't it? Somebody created it or nobody created it. If it is created, what will you accept? Now the possibility is on both sides, but where the possibility is, and then remember, the choice that we make, we become bound by the consequences of that choice. Yeah, it is you made a choice to go in this direction. Now whatever this direction takes you to, there you will go. So that becomes a consequence of the choice. You cannot say, I will make the choice but will not have the consequences of it. So you made the choice that it is the universe is, then universe is created, and now the next choice to make, it is whether there is a creator who made it, or there is no creator. Think about it. Again, you have to hold on to the consequences of the choice that you make. This is pure logic, friends, that you have to go to one thing. You cannot remain undecided for too long. It is, it is, so you make a choice that yes, creator is a better choice. I don't see anything that is created without a creator. It is ridiculous to say that, well, who prepared this cake? Who made this cake? Nobody, it just came of itself. It evolved on its own. It will sound very ridiculous. You won't be able to accept it. The cake is made by somebody. So you accept that. And thus you have this idea that yes, I have made this decision. Because on the other side, if I make those decisions, I will be bound by their consequences. So if I accept that there is no universe and then there is no I, just completely against my experience, I cannot accept that. So universe is there. I have made the choice. Now the next choice presents itself, that created or uncreated. Well, there is more evidence to believe that it is created. I will prefer to go by that. I will not have that problem that it is not created seems more ridiculous. So it is therefore created. And then, is there a creator or no creator? It sounds more logical to believe that there is creator, and so call that creator as God. That is the one proof, So when we get doubts, we should, this is a good way to resolve these, that I have to make a choice. Otherwise the doubts keep on assailing more and more without bringing us to any conclusion whatever. And the vacillation between these, that becomes the only activity for our brain without coming to any conclusion. So that is not right. That is what Shakespeare depicted in that play Hamlet. That always vacillating, and the life becomes so miserable. So you come to the conclusion, decide on that and act on that. So that is the process. Yes, reason out, but do not just keep on reasoning indefinitely. You have to come to conclusion. What do you want? And decide and finish it. I was buying one book. I had gone to a shop, and then I picked that book that what I wanted was there. But then I saw the price. It was, I thought that it was less, and then this is more pricey. So I was standing there at the cash, that counter, and then was thinking, should I buy? Should I not buy? Should I buy? Should I not buy? And then the man there were many people, he was busy, said, decide quickly, you want or you don't want. or you want to think about it and come back later, whatever, but make decision quick. You can't stand there holding the book forever. And those shops in India were small shops, It is not that there is lot of space you can sit somewhere and then think. You are at that cash counter. Come on, decide, do whatever, quick. So that is how we have to come to a decision. So come to the decision. If you are not able to make a decision on your own, quickly consult somebody. Because time is running out, you have to make a choice. The life is short. And so the life of just ambivalence is not taking us anywhere except this annihilation there, that's all. We won't be achieving anything. So therefore make a decision and let us move in that direction. Sri Ramakrishna used to tell about this, that the crooked mind is very difficult to go along in spiritual life. In everything, they will think about some problem might be there. If somebody tells you, gives you an advice, you may think, oh, sounds good, but that man may not be a good person, or the advice may not be good to work on. Now what do you want to do? Think about it. Either go or don't go, but do not keep on vacillating like that. It is, do you have any better choice? Do you have better choice? No. Then, well, follow it. It is, you have to be decisive in that. A crooked mind keeps on bringing out doubts and doubts and doubts. That becomes then the habit, the nature. And thus Bhagavad Gita says that there is no future for those whose nature becomes doubting, all the time doubting. Samshayatma vinashyati. Very strong words have been used, that ajñascha ashraddhadhanascha samshayatma vinashyati, that those who are ignorant, they also are not properly equipped. Those who do not have the faith, they are also not equipped. But those who get this doubting nature in everything, they are sure to come to grief. So therefore, doubt, but get that doubt clarified. Do not let that doubt keep on fostering inside, making a big this infection inside there. So one must be very careful about it. So Sri Ramakrishna said that he had such a faith. So the author says, how can our crooked minds have that kind of faith? When we find people who believe anything without question, we consider them foolish and dull-witted. We heard from the Master for the first time. Look, people become guileless and open-minded as a result of many austerities and various sadhanas. One becomes guileless. It is, they see that the person who is telling it must be telling truth. Or why should that person be telling me untruth? After all, the saying truth is automatic. Not saying truth requires crookedness and effort. Saying truth is kind of automatic and obvious. So, Sri Ramakrishna used to automatically accept these things, and that doesn't mean you have to be not verifying it. He was very good at that to verify what has been told. So, it is, but for verification also you have to first accept it. It was so difficult, therefore, to anybody to cheat him, because not only he would accept what that person says, but he would see that it gets verified. If not, he will reject it outright. So that is how his nature was, and that is how he used to teach, that he would say that one cannot attain God without simplicity. He reveals his true nature only to a person who is simple and believing. Simple and believing. And that is what his words are. A guileless person alone can get this God realization, because God is the truth. And the truth is straightforward. And so, only straightforward mind can get it. If our mind is crooked, then the straightforward truth, it will not enter. Try, take a crooked pipe and try to put a straight stick in it. It will not go much distance, because the pipe is crooked, so bent at many places. So therefore, a straightforward truth cannot be realized by a crooked mind. So the mind has to become straightforward, guileless, clean. Then you see the truth, you see. Then the truth becomes just evident to that mind. And thus, that person cannot be even cheated, because sees the truth very clearly. So, can see the game very clearly. So, it is, he describes that doesn't mean, but does that mean you should be a fool? Be a devotee, but does that mean you should be a fool? That is how Sri Ramakrishna used to say. And there is this very beautiful incident that is narrated here. He said, always discriminate between what is real and what is unreal, what is eternal and what is transient. Shun the transitory and fix your mind on the eternal. And you are not anyway thinking about the unreal and those glittery attractive things. You are thinking about the reality. And therefore, there is no question of cheating in these matters. It is only when it comes to money or sources of so-called pleasure, like name, fame, social reputation, then there is the question of others cheating us come. Because for that there is competition. People want it, and the supply is limited. So either you will get or the other person will get. In the case of sense pleasurable objects, the supply is limited, and the people who want is that is more. So there is always a competition, a rat race in this world in that matter. They describe the working in like New York or any such cities, financial industry. It is that is how the description is. You have to be in that race work hard. Not only you move, working is two types. You move forward and drag others backwards, So that is how you become busy the whole day. And then you think how much success I got in this by this, how much money after all I made. That is the scale of success. So therefore, such people will find it, or difficult to think of the God, because the mind is always in those things, profits, loss. It is keep on calculating, doesn't change much. It is, and you lose your peace of mind. And what better use of time you could have done, that also gets lost. So Sri Ramakrishna said, see, God realization, if Jitendra realizes God, that doesn't prevent Yona from realizing God. Yeah, it is, because that is infinite. It is, after all, just as it is his nature, it is nature of everyone. So everyone can realize God. It is, Sri Ramakrishna used to give an analogy, I don't know, in this in Western culture, probably it may not make sense, that Uncle Moon is everybody's moon. Is everybody's uncle. Uncle Moon is everybody's uncle. We call the children, you call the moon as uncle. Uncle Moon. Chanda Mama. So, Mama means maternal uncle. So, Moon uncle, oh Uncle Moon. Now everybody can look at the moon and say, my uncle. So it is everybody's. So God being everybody's true nature, everybody's reality, everyone can realize it simultaneously. I mean, there is no need that I have to snatch it from somebody else. No, God belongs to everyone. That is how in the gopis, when they were having that play in Ras Leela with Krishna, so many gopis were there. Gopis are representations of the devotees, the soul that is aspiring for God. There is not male female as such. As the soul who is aspiring the union with God. And it is described there. So every gopi sees that Krishna is with me, and fully with me. Completely I have the possession of Lord Krishna with me. So, how could it be? It is because the Krishna is everybody's soul, is constant companion of everyone. So, therefore, there is no deception in this matter. The deception comes when we want to get some other benefits by having religious life. Most of the cheating happens not because somebody is spiritual, but because our spirituality is mixed with all the worldly desires, and our worldly desires, they camouflage also as spiritual desire. And thus, we go to a so-called teacher and think that, well, I should get, my bank balance should increase. And then there is all these charlatans and cheats, and they make hay when they this sun of our ignorance is shining, you see. They can make hay. They promise those things, and one easily falls in those traps of charlatans, because we have our worldly desires, and we see therefore look for a person who can make my bank balance go. See, these books sell so fast. How to get help of Bhagavad Gita to double your bank balance. Imagine, is that the purpose of Bhagavad Gita? But there are such books, the business principles in Bhagavad Gita by which you can increase your bank balance twice. Wow, it is. So such things they sell, and we get cheated by that. So Sri Ramakrishna would say, look, very carefully, if you want spiritual wisdom, you will get it. Otherwise, for worldly things, it is easy to get cheated. Unable to reconcile these two statements, some of us were scolded by the master many times. Sri Ramakrishna was a terrible scolding man, he used to scold really in very harshest of the tones. Once somebody, a direct disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, was scolding some novice, some other monk, and scolded in such bitter words that is it why you are so scolding? Look, how Sri Ramakrishna used to be so loving, and you scold us so much. And that Swami smiled and said, look, how Sri Ramakrishna used to scold with such sarcasm and very harsh words. So if you hear that what I am saying is just about 20% of that, he didn't say 20%, but it's nothing compared to that kind of scolding. So Sri Ramakrishna used to scold for these things. Swami Yogananda had not then renounced his home. His household needed an iron pot. For his home, he wanted to buy an iron pot. So he went to Bara Bazar, one marketplace in Kolkata, to buy one. After reminding the shopkeeper of the evil consequences of dishonesty, he said, look here, take a fair price for the article, and please make sure that there is no crack or leak in it. Of course, sir, and I shall do that, replied the shopkeeper. He then selected a pot and gave it to Yogananda. Trusting the shopkeeper, he took the pot and brought it home without examining it. But after returning to Dakshineshwar, he found a crack in it. When the master heard of this, he reproached him. What? You bought a pot and didn't examine it first? The shopkeeper was there to do business, not to practice religion. It is a clear thing. So, now when he sees that such a person is there who is going to just believe whatever I say, is the fit case to sell the bad things. It is, sell those things to this person. That is how the idea of selling is, and that which otherwise wouldn't get sold. You sell it to such customers, so who won't be examining at all. So not examining is, you go by just how it looks. No, examine. So the shopkeeper was there to do business, not to practice religion. Why did you believe him and get cheated? Just because you are a devotee, that's no reason to be a fool. Becoming devotee is difficult. Becoming fool, we don't have to really do much. We already are enough fool. So, becoming fool is very easy. But therefore, do not become fool, examine. Sri Ramakrishna says that should you be deceived by people, henceforth, when you go shopping, first examine the thing thoroughly and then pay. Don't accept the article without confirming that it is of the right weight, and don't fail to demand a little extras that are customary. uh, yeah, it is many shops they announce these different things. So don't let that pass. It is that is your due. Take it. It is. We would give many such examples, but this is not the place to do so. We shall continue our topic now after having referred to the Master's extraordinary simplicity along with his wonderful power of discrimination. The Master told us that Mathur spent more than 100,000 rupees on their pilgrimage to Varanasi. It was, of course, a big group. But still, 100,000 rupees of that time, it is around now more than 150 years ago. So imagine, you see. So now it would be 100 times more, millions of rupees. So therefore, it is lot of expenditure was done for this pilgrimage to make it comfortable for everybody and spend money at various places in donations and so forth. So Mathur arranged a feast for the local Brahmin Pandits. Another day he invited their entire families, fed them sumptuously, and gave a cloth and a rupee to each one of them. When Mathur's party returned to Varanasi after visiting Vrindavan, at the Master's command, Mathur acted like a wish-fulfilling tree and freely distributed utensils, clothes, blankets, shoes, and other articles to people according to their needs. On the first day of the feast, the Master was extremely displeased to see the Brahmin Pandits quarreling, shouting, and even fighting amongst themselves. He was disappointed when he noticed that even in a sacred place like this, like Varanasi, people were as attached to lust and gold as they were elsewhere. With tears in his eyes, he said to the Divine Mother, "Mother, why did you bring me here? I was much happier in Dakshineshwar." Yeah, he saw well what they, after all, people here, even the so-called holy people, they also have been, after such pieces of worldly possessions, want more money, more gifts, and so they keep on clamoring after these and fight with each other. It is, and I have seen this myself in many places in these, not only in pilgrimage places, but when such people are invited, then they try to get more from the host, more than others, saying that, well, you gave him 100 rupees, but I am much bigger a scholar than him. It is, I have got this degree from Kashi. So, if he gets so much, I should be given at least 25% more than him. So now the host doesn't want to displease them, but then if he gives him more, the other person comes. No, no, see, I am not fighting, but we should have the justice here. All of us are scholars, all of us are Brahmins, all of us are Pandits. He might have got a degree, I have got some other degree that he doesn't have. And then the fights would emerge. I have seen this actually. And then some of them would steal things from the home. Yeah, it is one little child saw that on one such occasion, lot of such people had come, and then they praised the host to such an extent that it is all meaningless really. So, but that is how it is done. And then the idea is so the host will give them more donations. So it was given the donations and all, but still one of them just picked up a very nice shawl and went away. And a little child there noticed that, oh, this was here, not there. So one of them must have taken it. And he told his dad. Dad said, no, why those people, why will they take? No, I am sure one of them has taken it. And then he, as a child, he ran. And then saw that yes, that man has it, and snatched it away from them and gave some, said some very nasty words to them, you thieves and all that. So it is not very unknown that, because although that posing of being a holy and sacred person is there, but the purpose of that is not God. Purpose is, it is just as the reflection of a thing is opposite of that. So it is the reflection of holiness is unholiness. So all these acts were, they do happen, and Sri Ramakrishna, see that what is this? I was better off there. Mother, did you bring me, why did you bring me here? I was much happier to be in Dakshineshwar. Although the master was distressed when he saw that even in Varanasi people were attached to worldly things, he nonetheless had wonderful visions and experiences there that convinced him of the greatness of Shiva and the glory of Varanasi. As his boat crossed the Ganges and approached Varanasi, he saw in a vision that the city of Shiva was truly made of gold. There was no clay or stone in Varanasi. The subtle form of the city had been made golden by the priceless love and faith of innumerable monastics and devotees throughout the ages. The real Varanasi is luminous and full of spirituality, while the external one is but its shadow. So, today's time is over. There are many more incidents about his pilgrimage to Varanasi and other places. We shall continue discussion on this next Tuesday. We will meditate on Sri Ramakrishna for a few seconds, and then in case if you have questions, feel free to ask these. Yes, please. Any question? No question today, okay. Yeah. So, any question here? So, we shall conclude with the... Oh, you have a question? Oh, yes, Abhijit.
So what's the difference then between being guileless and being gullible?
Oh,
It
yes.
seems almost the similarity.
That is how they are similar in appearance. But by being guileless, you see the truth very clearly. You don't get cheated. It is by gullible means you are not really wise, straightforward and pure in mind. A guileless person is pure in mind, doesn't want anything in the world as such. And so it comes there that you are guileless, you are simple, you accept the things, but you do not accept as a permanent thing. You also see that I have to test it. So you test it. Sri Ramakrishna tested many things. So it is, whereas a gullible person does not test at all. It is, he falls for it. And thus, this is the difference. This question is very nice question, being gullible and being guileless. They appear similar, but they are opposite of each other. It is, gullible person is intellectually inactive or lazy, does not give a thought. Then there is the haste of doing things. Many they become gullible because they are in great hurry to do something, and thus lose that sense. Being gullible is, you see so many examples that it is, you are told and you go by that, you do not suspect anything, get cheated by that. But guileless, pure, because of that being guileless, firstly, your other desires, they get examined and they are discarded. Then also you see the mind of the person ahead, that what is he doing there. Guileless doesn't mean subject to this being cheated. The two things, although look like, it is very different. A person who is very simple-hearted still examines everything. It is one Swami, he was president, and then he gave some cash to the this thing and said that, well, this is the balance that I had taken, this was the expenditure, and this is the balance I am returning. And then the cashier just tried to put it in the box. Okay, fine. The president said, count, see, verify, count it. Oh, you have given, why, how can I count? I don't, no, you have given. See, man is subject to making mistake. You should do your work. Whosoever has given, it is your job to properly count and keep it. It is, so our laziness, comes in the way. Oh, who is going to count? Okay. No, you are an accountant. It is your responsibility. So count it. And don't, even if I have given, and then even thinking that if you think, yes, I am an honest person, but yet I can make mistakes, and so you should not rely on that. Count it properly. It is a matter of training that you have that simplicity. Try to see God in everything. But there is the worldliness associated because of the ignorance too. It is one incident. See, this difference can be cleared mainly by telling incidents. So it is one man was telling a Swami. He was a devotee and very. This happened in Nagpur. So he was telling that such and such thing happened here. This I saw. It is, and the Swami was asking for the details. At what time? When? How? Did you see? You were present there? Or yeah, and that man became agitated, said, "Oh, I am telling you and still don't you believe me? Don't you believe me? I am telling you." He was feeling insulted. And the Swami said calmly, "I believe you and I don't believe you. I believe you because there is God in you. And I don't believe you because you have Maya or ignorance also in you." So, it is, both these things are to be seen. As one becomes wiser, one becomes guileless, at the same time one does not remain gullible. Our desires make us gullible. People take advantage of us left and right. Those who have more worldly desires, they get taken advantage of more. They think that they are wise, they are checking everything, but no, they get taken advantage of because they cannot see that there is the motives in other people. Whereas a man who is guileless is more accustomed to check it impartially and see the truth, and so doesn't get cheated so easily. Sri Ramakrishna, in that paragraph we read that it is a matter of sadhana to become guileless. One has to be gullible, anyway is gullible. The world is full of, therefore, gullible people. It is that is that saying that it is easy to find a gullible person. Go to look for one, you find 10. That is the situation. But a guileless person, not easy to find. One has to, Sri Ramakrishna said, for a long sadhana, with that a person gradually becomes guileless. So, guileless is very different, although looks alike, like the rising sun and setting sun look alike. But no, there is a difference between them. So, don't be gullible. Check everything. Do not fall prey to what the advertisements say. The advertisement, that is their job of saying, they are doing their job. Question is, do you want to fall prey to that or not? Our desires, our passions make us fall for it. So one has to be very careful. Is it right for me? Is it going to be beneficial for me? Uh, you should not think that other, when you get the messages that, oh, we will take care of all your debts and loans. And what, Naomi, will you fall for that advertisement? No, one should not. But why these advertisements are given out? Because there are some people who will fall prey for that. So, it is because they are giving advertisement. What does it mean? They are not there out to do charity to you. Every now and then I get a phone call. That we have been trying to reach you for a long time. Oh, wow, such a great love, somebody is so anxious to meet me. Why? Well, want to see that how they can cut my pocket. Our Chetanananda tells a story that he gets, like everybody gets phone calls about credit cards, and he got a call. This is long ago. And then he said that the credit card man was telling on the other line that this is a very good credit card for you. You don't have to do anything. It is in on the above that your credit limit. We will be giving you $50 as just a gift. And the Swami replied, very good, thank you very much. That not only you are giving me a credit line of $10,000, but you are also giving me $50. That's very good. So what do you want then? Just tell me what's your income. I have no income. And the phone line got cut there. It is simple things, that it is, nobody is giving you a call for giving you some great gift. It is, so if what happens is our passions make us get caught, and we say there are cheats in the world. Of course there are cheats in the world. You were also trying to cheat actually by trying to get things which appear to be not easy to get at that price. You can't get that at that price. So there is some trap. I didn't see the trap and then just walked in it. That is called gullible. Guilelessness is very different. That you see both the sides, that this person is divine because there is God in everything, and yet there is the covering of Maya. So verify things. It is, if we have no such overpowering passions which cloud our intellect, we will be able to see things more clearly. We won't be gullible like that. So let us conclude with the closing prayers. May the Divine, who is Father in heaven of the Christians, Holy One of the Jewish faith, Allah of the Muslims, Buddha of the Buddhists, Tao of the Taoists, Great Spirit of the Native Americans, Ahur Mazda of the Zoroastrians, and Brahman of the Hindus, lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. May the all-loving Being manifest Himself unto us and grant us abiding understanding and all-consuming divine love. Peace, peace, peace be unto all.